So the action to take the Heumen Bridge, bridge number 7, ends up being a tougher nut to crack than the Grave Bridge.
Than the Gravy Bridge.
Than the Gravy Bridge. But it starts here. And what's amazing about this, as soon as you get here, you just go, yeah, of course.
Well, look, I mean,
of course this is drop zone O.
You're an air planner. You're an air planner back in England somewhere.
You're scanning a map, you're scanning aerial photographs.
At night, you've got your coffee, your cigarette on, and you think, I just need a really wide open space. We've got these, what we want is the sticks to land together and neatly, and the gliders to be able to come in.
We're going to do it daytime so everyone can see.
Daytime so everyone can see what they're doing, and they need to be near enough to bridges, and I mean, it's just sort of blindingly obvious, isn't it? And this is actually a thing we'll when we get to Arnhem, we'll come to when we talk about the landing and drop zones there. It's like, you kind of think, you know, if what you're trying to do is deliver a lot of people coherently, look at it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's flat as well. If you're landing gliders, it's flat and it's big enough. You can get a run in, you know, it's not like the fields in Sicily, which are all divided up, tiny little fields with stone walls, Jesus Christ. No, you can vector in nicely along here.
You absolutely can. I mean, it's just perfect, isn't it?
What's not to like?
No, absolutely nothing not to like. And of course, the power cables wouldn't have been there, so you don't have that extra hazard, potential hazard, to worry about. So, again, it's the same principle that Wellham has with his 2nd Battalion of the 504th, the same with the 1st Battalion, who are given the job of capturing bridge number 7 and bridge number 8.
Yep.
And
because the thing about the 82nd Airborne Plan is there's a redundancy built in, because some of these bridges
duplicate. You only need one over the Marsval Canal.
Yeah.
So they send loads off to lots of different ones. But it is the 1st Battalion we're given the job of the Blankenberg Bridge, which is number 8, and the bridge number 7, which is the Heumen Bridge. But they've got to get here first. So again, it's a major in charge of the 1st Battalion, not a lieutenant colonel. Okay, a new guy, he's only newly put in charge, a guy called Major Willard E. Harrison. Willard E. Harrison. Willard, my name is Willard E. Harrison. Anyway, he has identified a windmill at the far end of here, and he goes, right, okay.
I mean, again, there we are. We're here again. He's looking for a windmill.
If you want a meeting point, if you want a mustering point, look no further than a windmill. It's a cliche, but let's just do it. Go with it. So anyway, so he finds us this windmill, and he basically says, right, as soon as you land, just head for it.
Go for the windmill. Get
rid of your excess baggage, excess weighted stuff. This is all about being quick. Surprise! We're going to just jump these bridges.
Yeah.
So we're going to send different companies into different bridges, and I want you to just check in at the windmill and then just go. Don't wait. Get on with it.
Yeah.
And then what happens at the Heumen Bridge?
Well, let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it. Come on, let's be like Willard Harrison. Let's do it. Come on.
Standing around forming up. Cracking on.
Just go.
The lesson is just go.
So this is one of these places where walking the ground really, really counts, because the only real kind of evidence we've got of this is the after-action report written by Captain Thomas B. Helgeson, who is a commander of Beaker Company.
Okay.
So B Company given this one, C Company given Blankenberg Bridge, which is bridge number 8.
And they call this the Molenhoek Bridge.
Molenhoek Bridge, or the Heumen Bridge, is bridge number 7.
Yeah.
And obviously this is an area that sort of, there's lots of things which are still here, like this building, I'm pretty certain that was there in 1944, but there's lots as well. This avenue of oaks, absolutely there, but all that housing that we've just driven through, not there.
I mean, that's a hamlet at the time. I mean, this is the thing about so much of here. It's been built on since. I mean, it's 80 years ago. Of course, it has.
Yes.
You know, and all of the settlements around here, they tend to be referring to hamlets if they're naming places at all.
Yeah.
Rather than, I mean, we've just come through a village proper.
Yeah.
But none of that was there. We also did pass an enormous windmill on the way, which
maybe that was the windmill.
Maybe that's the windmill. Maybe that's the rendezvous windmill.
Yeah. Maybe it is that Willard Harrison suggests that they all should kind of muster at. But anyway, what Helgeson decides is that he gets he's got the bulk of his company here, because also the other thing is that they're all landing together on Drop Zone O. There's none of this kind of
just go
ahead. You know, they're all pretty much together. So they're hitting that windmill, checking in, dropping their heavy kit, and then moving out straight away.
Yeah.
But actually, it's quite it's a mile or two. It's a couple of miles from the drop zone.
Yes.
So that gives you the chance for everyone to kind of bunch up.
Yeah.
They know that the bridge is at the end of this thing, but the end of this avenue of oak trees. Then there's this kink. So that gives you the opportunity to charge it. So what he says is, right, what we're going to do is we're going to have the benefit of survived. We're going to get up to there until they, so they can't see us. Then the moment that we come around this corner, we're just going to charge the bridge.
Hell for leather, yeah.
What happens though is they get attacked from here.
Right.
They take that out and then they charge on, but there's a blockhouse. The Germans then pull back. What Germans are pull back to a blockhouse on the island.
Are we looking
But this is where it gets confusing because we're on an island now.
Yeah.
But there's another island behind, and I think the island they're referring to has to be
the other one.
That one, because this is a whole complicated lock system.
Right. Are we talking a couple of dozen Germans again, like at the
No,
Grover
I think
Bridge?
yeah, probably a couple of dozen Germans, something like that.
You see, because this is the thing is that.
But I don't 100% know that this was here. But that looks period enough to me.
Age of Pro, the brick looks old enough.
And he talks about charging it and getting to within 200 yards where they get stopped. So that's about 200 yards that corner, isn't it?
Now, Jim, the bridge itself isn't here anymore, though, is it?
No.
There's a new road bridge.
This is now a road to nowhere.
Meters further up, and this is as you say, a road to nowhere.
Yeah. So this is why it's difficult to know 100. We know that the bridge was here. So that's that.
Yeah.
But where we are now is an island. But I think when he's talking about the island, I think he's talking about that one, which is between.
Which is a sliver of land between which is part of the lock system, part of the block system.
It's a double lock system. So conveniently, a barge is just arriving, which is presumably about to go into the far side of the island onto the westbound lock.
But crucially,
no, we're in the west. This is the west side, isn't it?
Yeah, but crucially, the bridge is set to blow, right?
The bridge is set to blow.
So they take it, but it's set to blow.
Yeah, well, what happens is because the Germans have retreated to the blockhouse, which has to be, I think, on that island there in front of us.
Yeah.
And when we get to the edge of the lock, you'll absolutely see what I'm talking about. Under cover of fire, combat engineers, are able to creep forward and cut the wires to the explosives.
Right.
Under the bridge.
Right.
Because they found them really quickly.
Found them really quickly.
So it's kind of, Helgeson is worried the whole time that they haven't cut the right wires. So the whole afternoon, they're expecting the bridge to, or he's expecting the bridge to blow. Okay, so now you can see absolutely clearly. There you are. There's the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what he's worried about.
So this is a moving bridge. This is a bridge that comes up and goes down, right?
Yeah.
So,
but here's the lock.
Yeah.
But there's another lock on the other side.
Yeah. So you're saying the blockhouse is on this finger of land here.
I think it's on this. It has to be because this is an island, but that is really an island, isn't it? You could be forgiven for thinking that this isn't an island.
Well, I mean, you pointing.
And it's not an island; it's actually a finger.
You pointing that out has made that clear. But what we're looking at is a bridge to let shipping through, right? Because
but it's got to be a double bridge, right?
Yeah,
because there's two locks here.
Yeah.
There's a lock going in and there's a lock going out.
Yeah.
So the engineers might have got to the wires here and cut them. So that's that bit saved. Okay, that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But you've still got the other half. So what he's trying to do the whole of that afternoon, the Germans are retreating there. They can't quite pin them down. They've obviously got plenty of ammo, so they keep firing back. He keeps trying to get his men to infiltrate.
Yeah.
Now, how do you can't infiltrate? That's not going to happen. It's too wide. It's too deep. It's just that is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But you could get over there.
Yeah.
And you could get onto this bit of the island, and then you could
enfilade them from there. Yeah.
But you could enfilade them, but you're not going to get into this lock and up the other side, are you? Maybe you are down
Yeah, I think that's going to be quite difficult.
I think that's going to be quite difficult.
Unless you can get the gates closed, because there are locked gates.
So that's the problem.
Up.
So while the Germans are on the island, you've got a problem. So this firefight continues all afternoon. It's not until it gets dark that he's finally able to get men across to the other side and attack from the other side.
Right.
And it's the double pincer. If you want to take a bridge, take it from both ends. That's the rule.
Yeah.
And that's what enables them to take it at around 8 p.m. that evening.
But we're thinking, so this is we're on the route of the bridge, right, here.
Yeah.
So the blockhouse is going to be where that solar panel is, probably.
Probably. Yeah, something like that.
Because there doesn't seem to be.
But this is my point. So we've got
Helgeson's
Helgeson's report, after action report. We've got what we can see in front of us. We now have to apply what we know Helgeson said happened with what is in front of us, and then our best guess of making sense of the land.
Yeah.
But again, it's only because we're here that we can see that crossing the Rhine over the Mars-Val Canal over there
on the west
that's not an option.
Yeah.
It's too wide. Here you possibly could. Maybe there's a little footbridge up the other end he doesn't mention.
Well, if the lock gates are closed, because after all, this is a fully functioning lock. So
yeah, you can clamber across the lock.
If you lock,
or maybe you can lock the lock gates.
Yeah.
But you could see how you could infiltrate up there and get onto the other side, don't you? Can't you?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But the point is, they don't need this bridge.
No, they do need this bridge.
Oh, right,
they do need this bridge.
So this is the one they do need.
Well, they need one of 4 along the Mars-Val Canal.
Okay, right.
So it could be this one, it could be the Blankenberg, it can be the Beer Bosch, it can be, or the Near Bosch rather, and it can be I can't remember what the other one's called. It can be one of 4. All the other 3 are blown.
Right.
So the Blankenberg is blown.
So
this is the only one.
So this is important.
This is super vital.
Right.
What I would say about this, though, is that this is comparatively easy to bridge with a Bailey bridge. You know, this wouldn't necessarily take a huge amount of time.
No, it wouldn't.
But a hell of a lot easier if you don't have to bother.
Well, a hell of a lot easier if you don't have to bother, because after all, you are what, 45 miles from the bottom of the corridor.
Yeah.
The 30 core coming up. So any bridging equipment's got to come up that single road.
Yep.
Scores of lorries. Required for to bridge this span here.
So if you don't have to.
So if you don't have to, you don't want to have to. Is the point.
Yep.
So yeah, they're spared another logistic snarl up there, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a great action, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because this looks quite poxy compared to the Grave Bridge. Yeah. You know, it's kind of, what's the big deal? But it ends up being this much tougher fight that doesn't get reduced till 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. But this is what I absolutely love about walking the ground, because I really like coming to a place. You've got an eyewitness account.
Yeah.
You've got a landscape that has changed enough.
Yeah.
In the intervening 80 years,
to offer
to offer a puzzle, and you've got to try and make sense of it. And nearly always, I think the most obvious likely route through is probably what happened.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that is what is going on here. It's just fascinating.
And he'll have written that report, maybe last thing at night that day, exhausted,
or a couple of days later,
or the following week.
Yeah.
You know, once things have calmed down.
Yeah.
So it's as fresh as you can make it, but
at the same time, remember, you've been there.
Yeah.
You know, Helgeson has been there.
Yeah.
He knows what. So he hasn't got someone going, yeah, but hang on a minute, can you just clarify that point?
Yeah,
Can you just sort of make clear this? Because I don't understand, which bit of the island are you talking about?
Well, and also in a way, it doesn't matter. It's happened. It's over.
It's happened. It's done.
It's done. They took the bridge, whatever.
Yeah, great. Well done.
Yeah. Now, the other thing we need to talk about, though, is the man in charge of all this.
Yeah.
Right, because we've done the individual little actions, the bridges being taken, the guy in charge, jumping Jim Gavin.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna go to the Gross Peak Heights. We're gonna look at his command post, and we're gonna talk about how to command an airborne division with a broken back.
Yep.
Let's do it.